One of the better politicians out there is Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is a guy who should never have won the presidency, given all the problems he had getting up to the presidency. But he's a great politician. And I want you to listen to him because he sees something that many of us are talking about. Some people, while we were talking about this 3-4 months ago, they laughed. I mean, 3 to 4 months ago, I've said, we are going to hold the House. We are going to gain in the Senate, and we may even gain in the House. It's for Democrats to lose. I've been saying that before these numbers turned around because it is just a matter of policy and messaging. And when people are hurting, if you can win the policy messaging messaging game, you can actually win the vote. And you make again what occurred in Clinton's years and Bush years, where the off election was won by the same party. I want you to check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
Could Biden break the historical pattern of midterms going badly?
Absolutely. But we could hold both these houses. But we have to say the right things. And we have to note the Republicans always close well. Why? Because they find some new way to scare the living daylights out of swing voters about something. That's what they did in 2021, where they made critical race theory sound worse than smallpox. And it wasn't being taught in any public schools in America. But they didn't care. They just scare people. And at the end, the break point in American politics is not much different than it was in the 90s. That is, you still have to get those people. It's just that there's so many fewer, because as the parties have gone more ideological and clear and somehow psychically intolerant, they pull more and more of people toward the extremes. But there's still some people hanging on there who are really trying to think and trying to understand what's going on. So I think that's very important.
The way Tony Blair puts it is, you and he understood that you had to appeal to peoples on cultural issues to reassure them that you weren't a crazy-eyed radical. And then they would be open to listening to your economic policies, which were going to help them. But if they thought you were somehow alien, they were just not going to be listening.
That's right. And it applies to other things. When we succeeded in breaking the filibuster and getting the assault weapons ban passed, I said, look, I grew up in a hunting culture. You know, I had a 22 when I was 10 years old, a .410 shotgun, a tiny one when I was 14. I don't want to do anything to interfere with your right to hunt, sports shoot, or protect yourself, especially if you live in a rural area where the police response time might be pretty extended. If I keep that commitment, wouldn't you like to help a lot of these kids that are being shot down and drive-by shootings live? We need your help here. That's what I did. I didn't call them killers. I didn't, talk about the NRA. I talked about people. There aren't so many of them, but you just need a few to flip from one side to the other, and you've got a healthy governing majority. It is hard, and it's much harder now than when I did it, and it was hard then. But what Biden reasoned was, I just have to keep at it, and I'll either get something done or I won't, but I can't win a word war with these guys. I've got to win based on things that will help people. And now you see he's getting a little more robust in his rhetoric, but it's because he's got a platform to stand on that will help other people's lives. Politics is about other people. And the problem with the culture war is that it always tries to turn it back to the politicians. What's wrong with them? And this is what the press has to guard against, because if you have to worry about daily ratings, the drama of two people duking it out is far more effective. But it always, in the end, winds up helping the right, because it's harder to build a barn than it is to kick one down. And then when you build it, you got to explain what you built and why it's a good thing to put your animals in your barn. It's harder, but it's really worth doing.
Absolutely. So it's easier to tear something down than it is to build it. So Bill Clinton is absolutely right, but he's also right that it's about messaging. He's also absolutely right that Republicans know how to close. And that's because closing for them is very, very easy. Lie through your teeth. They lie continuously anyway, but they will continue to lie through their teeth and then scare the holy crap out of everybody to make it an existential problem, an existential problem if they vote for Democrats. But what Democrats have to do is the opposite. They need to prove that voting for a Republican leader creates an existential problem, not only to humanity, not only to America, but to humanity proper. And I'm not saying that, I'm not kidding or being exploitative or when I say this. They are a clear and present danger. This is not hypotheses. The things that they support cause harm, causes harm. The things that they support cause harm. So let's be clear here. Bill Clinton is absolutely right. The House and the Senate is there for Democrats to hold on to. It is there for them to hold on to. It is there for them to gain seats. But they're going to have to forget about playing these funny games of trying to triangulate. They just need to go at it. This is what we are going to do for you. This is what they are doing against you. This is how they're killing you by not giving you health care. This is how they're killing you by not having a regulated electrical grid in Texas. This is how they're killing you by not allowing us to pass good immigration and bring it and causing all kind of havoc thereafter. The immigration problem is their problem. The problems with healthcare, it's their problem. We have the solutions. They have a minority that's able to block, give us a larger majority to move. And then when we get that larger majority, we will have to put the fire under the neoliberals to get the policies Americans say they want. But we are ready for the neoliberals. We are ready for the neoliberals if they don't fall in line and do the things necessary to move the middle class and poor Americans forward. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.